Hey, this is Cole from Lifetech. I just wanted to share a really quick story with you. I've been a financial advisor and infinite banking practitioner now for 3 years. It was about 2 years ago when I recognized that I wanted to show up different. I wanted to sell more whole life insurance. I wanted to serve people. I wanted to help people. I wanted to show up with credibility in a virtual world. I wanted to use technology to my advantage to do all of the above. At the end of the day, I wanted to sell more whole life insurance. And today I am. Here's how I'm doing it. I recognized that I needed to find ways to show up in a way that wasn't selling from illustrations. Selling from illustrations is one thing. It confuses the mind. Clients are saying no to the thing that can help them the most. Whole life insurance is the future of the financial industry. Whole life insurance pays us financial advisors the most, and it helps people. Where do you get an opportunity to have your cake and eat it too? Okay, here's what I did. I created with one product. Today we have over 4 products, technologically based, actuarially accurate tools based on thousands of illustrations from popular mutual life carriers across North America. The first one I did is called Child Millionaire. You're likely an advisor watching this video. You likely had the same problems I had a number of years ago. You wanted to show up different. You wanted to not confuse your clients. You wanted to help them. And you also want to make some money. I'm going to show you in this series of videos 7 different technological advancements when it comes to selling and serving people through the lens of whole life insurance. It starts with the children. Here's the very first slide on Child Millionaire, the very first calculator of 7 on Child Millionaire that's going to help you do that. This first calculator that you're looking at in a series on the left, you can see a series of toggles as we go through these. This is the foundational calculator. This is the whole life. In the Child Millionaire program, we are talking about and asset. We're talking about how to show up different. We're talking about how to serve and how to be credible. This data is within 5% of all illustrations built into the back end, over 7,000 of them. So what we're going to look at really simply here are 2 different sliders. Imagine sitting with a client. The client says, I've heard about whole life insurance. I've heard about infinite banking. I've heard good things and I've heard bad things. I've heard enough to know that I need to understand it a little bit better. Imagine trying to sit down and explain how paid up additions work, how cash access works, how dividends work. It's very, very confusing to the average person. One thing that we know about whole life insurance is that when you are speaking to it through the lens of a child, people will pay attention. People will pay it. Business owners will pay attention. Real estate investors will pay attention. People who are looking at leverage strategies will pay attention. And this is how we get them to pay attention. Instead of selling from a spreadsheet, we sell from a simple tool that has sliders. You're going to see 2 sliders, one here and one here. This is an age data point. This one here is a budget data point. Now we're illustrating this up to 20 years. One of the biggest criticisms that I have about the whole life insurance industry is that financial advisors are constantly selling their clients short. The best way to design a whole life insurance policy is LifePay. By offsetting a policy at 20 years or running a 20-year illustration, you're basically guilty of opportunity cost. You're saying to your client, you no longer need to attract compounded growth. This is absolutely crazy. We wouldn't want to do that. But the benefits of showing offset strategy is that clients relate to not having to make payments anymore. It's an easy sales tactic. I don't like to sell that way. I like to show people the potential and go through the steps of getting them to understand the power of compounded growth over time. One of the things that we want to do with this tool and why we actually show it at 20 years is because we want to show people what's possible. This is an entry point. This is a first meeting tool. This is the tool where you allow people to show the flexibility of the program, and it allows you to capture again, what is possible. So we're showing these value in these data point only at 20 years. This is paid in for 20 years. So all the values that you're looking at in this tool are paid at 20 years. Imagine what these numbers in this series of videos will look like if you pay this for life. They will have exponential growth because we know what compounded interest does in our lives. It does one of 3 things. Your clients are paying it, your clients are earning it, or they're missing out on the opportunity to earn it. That's called opportunity cost. We will never sell our clients short on the opportunity to earn compounded interest. Okay, we're going to look quickly across the little child in the stroller here, $1,000 based on these data points, age 20, milestone age, 65 and 75. We illustrate age 65 and 75 because somewhere in here we identify with the R word. The R word is retirement. Somewhere people will be retiring potentially at 65 or 75. I know for me, I'm never retiring. I have too much work to do. And most of the people watching this video probably wouldn't relate to that word either. It's a little bit out of style. But again, people do relate to it and our clients do relate to it. And it is a catchy thing to identify with and really sell them on or close them on. But by the time they get to it, they'll find that infinite banking or using whole life insurance has an uncanny knack of creating opportunity that tracks people down that are using it. So your clients will likely become anti-retirement people, just like we are. All right, down here we have a little graph. This graph shows you the potential of the program based on the budget, and then in lighter blue, what you're actually doing. And as I move across the graph, there are data points talking about age, monthly contributions, and the value at that relevant age. Let's move these sliders across and take a look at these data points down below, what we call this accessible value. Understand that this money here is accessible through the mechanism of a collateral assignment or a policy loan. This is highly leverageable, highly liquid. This money is unilaterally yours. There's no credit checks to remember. This money shows up in a myriad of different ways. And as we move through this video, we're going to show some absolutely thrilling ways to create and asset or no risk leverage strategies through investments, homes, property. We call this the golden egg, further investments, legacy, and finally stewardship. All right, so let's move these sliders across. Right now we're at $150 a month. Let's move it all the way up to $500 a month. Again, your chart shows a lot more energy down here. All the data points are there for you to relate to your client. And we're going into age 75 at $1.5 million. Age 65, 958,000. Age 20, 91,000. One of the things that it's very important to understand when you're talking to people about this is the fact that the child is the life insured, the parent or the grandparent is the owner, and the beneficiary can be an at arm's length relationship that you have with any family member. It could be yourself or another family member. The beautiful thing about this program with Child Millionaire, and a very important thing to get across to your clients, is that by the simple deposit into a life insurance contract, you're instantly affecting 3 generations. The 3 generations are the child, you, say if you're the parent, and the children's children, your grandchildren, your client's grandchildren are going to be born into wealth that could be considered unheard of, and more importantly, going to be born into the idea of financial stewardship. One of the points that I like to make to my clients, and trust me, I sell thousands of these policies, is that financial literacy is a horse that has rode off into the sunset. 47% of North Americans are $200 away or less from insolvency. This is a huge issue. We have to pay it forward. We have to appeal as advisors to the parents and the grandparents of today that they need to pay it forward a generation. Every child born today should have a whole life insurance policy written on their life. And we're going to walk through what exactly is possible. Now, I like to illustrate at $200 a month. The reason I like to illustrate at $200 a month, and again, you can go up to age 15, and you can see the data points change, the numbers change, you can go down to 0. The beautiful thing about age 0 is that you're catching a child at 2 weeks old. 2 weeks old is the age in which a life insurance policy can be written on a child. Keep in mind that this strategy from an advisor perspective, not only with a premium payment, is the client, your customer, reaching 3 generations, but you as the advisor are not selling 1 policy on a child, you're essentially selling 3. Because with a child, what parents are going to do, what clients are going to do, is they're going to see the value in putting this money into a life insurance contract for their child, because they're affecting 3 generations. The money is unilaterally owned by them. It is a emergency fund. It's going on a trip fund. It's an education fund. And we're going to unpack that in a series of videos following this. And those are what the toggles on the left of the tool are. But more importantly, what happens with this tool is that you, as the advisor, get to now talk up to the parents about what their life insurance looks like. What does their term life insurance look like? Well, if they don't have enough term life insurance or whole life insurance, they can't write on the child. They have to have 50% more than the actual child does. Now that one policy instantly turns into 3. You can now talk to the parents, well, just maybe get some term life insurance. And now you can have a conversation about converting that life insurance into infinite banking or into a cash value strategy that can be leveraged at low to no risk. So you're really starting to pique and intrigue them. Now, what we're using Child Millionaire for, more importantly, is a referral tool. This is the best way to show up. People will do for their children, which they will not do for themselves. A business owner, through the lens of a child, will say to you, how does this work for my business? And you say to them the exact same way. The numbers just look a little bit bigger and the opportunity cost looks a lot lower and the opportunity looks a lot higher. Okay, age 0. I like to illustrate at $200 a month. It's relatable. I call it a Starbucks a day. Let's kick it back down to $100 a month. Call this a Dunkin' Donuts, or if you're in Canada, a Tim Hortons a day. All right. And again, this is just for 20 years. Back to the $200 a month. What do we have? Age 20, milestone age. $49,000. All your client has to do is ask for a policy loan. They have to send an email to the life insurance company and say, I would like my money. And the life insurance company is going to say, no problem. They're going to send you the money. You think that's enough money to start an education fund, maybe a down payment on a home, maybe an investment? Hey, maybe they want to buy some crypto. Who knows? Maybe they want to get into the real estate market. Who knows? Whatever it is, it's great. And the beautiful thing is that you're showing up different. You're adding value, you're serving, and you're making money. You're not selling one life insurance policy. You're now selling 3 just by showing this one slide. And here is one of the most important things right here, highlighted in gray. $48,000 contributed. And at age 65, 433,000, age 75, $679,000. Your clients are going to see this in a way that's relatable and non-confusing. We now put this money to work, and we're going to talk about that. If I were president, I would stand at every maternity ward in the United States and Canada, and I would hand out 2 things, a birth certificate and a life insurance contract. Could you imagine if every child born today had $100 or $200 a month paid for 20 years, a max of $48,000, resulting in millions of dollars for that child's life, resulting in financial stewardship and opportunity for generations to come. This is not utopian. This is real. This is the ultimate point of value that you as an advisor can show up with. I'm doing it in my life. We have hundreds of people now working with this tool and using this as their primary way to show up different. You are amazing for watching this. You're going to be more amazing when you watch the next video. The next video is going to blow your mind. We're going to show you how to take that $400,000 at age 65, that $50,000 at age 20, and not 10x it, but 100x it by a simple leverage strategy. This is amazing stuff. Watch the next video.